hymns. This is the man behind the book, too. Mike has been the one that has been tirelessly working to make sure that the production goes off on time and on schedule for this book to be on, quote unquote, the shelves at Hymns. So don't feel like it's all for naught, Mike. But here we are doing virtual hymns and making lemonade out of these lemons. And it's really good to have you here to talk about some of the things that you've been doing behind the scenes, not only for the book production, but for what else you have coming too. So I'll turn it over to you.
All right. So hi, everyone. Thanks for the introduction, Dr. Metcalf. Yeah, this book has been awesome to work on. I've done a few of these now, and we've developed quite the process for trying to do this as efficiently and as quickly as possible. So these books come together quick, and we've kind of got this streamlined process that allows us really to kind of take the manuscript, develop one time, and as you can tell, we push this to print. We have an iBook version out there on the Apple iBook store. There's also a Kindle version. And then what Dr. Metcalf had kind of alluded to is we have something special kind of coming along. So because this is a voice technology topic for a book, Dr. Metcalf thought it would be a pretty cool idea. What if we created something that was more voice enabled, right? So not just an audio version of the book from a, Audible or whatever the service of your choice is, but having something that is a voice enabled technology like Alexa, being able to actually get content from the book by just asking Alexa to read you the chapter, or something like the podcast Dr. Fisher's put together. So these interviews that you see written in transcript form in the book, being able to call those up and listen to the audio transcript from those interviews. So that's coming soon. We've been working on that pretty actively, trying to get that up and running. We're hoping to again unveil that at HIMSS, but it's digital, so we'll have a way to get that out to everybody. To check out shortly. So keep working on that. But
and Mike, you did it so it's interactive voice too, correct, so that it can hear you say, I'd like to hear Yah's chapter, I'd like to hear Terry's chapter, or you can say the name of the chapter and it takes you to that section too, right, so that you're not flipping through or having to listen to everything. It's becomes searchable.
Yeah, that'll be one of those things that we kind of, as we explore this technology, what is the most user-friendly way to navigate a book of this size with all this great content and all of these contributors, to naturally get that information in a way that feels helpful and, having that audio interactive experience. We get to do a lot of cool stuff like that in the lab. As you saw, a lot of these projects that Dr. Metcalf had mentioned have had the experience to work on and build towards things like this. But yeah, really proud of this book and everybody who contributed to it, and happy to be a part of the production and my team and all the hard work they put into getting it together. And so I'm glad to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about some of the different versions as well too, because some people may not know that in addition to the hardcover book, we have a couple of other versions of the ebook as well. So yeah, maybe you could talk about that too with the 3 versions.
Right. Yeah. So specifically to kind of get into each one kind of has a flavor, right? So got the print book, which pretty obvious, but there's some subtle differences between sort of the Kindle, the ebook version, and the iBook version, for example. So iBook obviously very specific to Apple, so having a Mac or an iPad, even a phone now, you can view that a little bit different style. So you'll notice immediately the book is very different in terms of its presentation. So color and all those being digital, and a landscape layout as opposed to the sort of portrait mode typical book PDF form. So we do use some specific technologies to answer your question. We use Apple's proprietary software for creating the iBook version. So, but again, part of our process is to take something that is more generic and vanilla, and then we're able to sort of dump and pour into the different digital formats, and then make changes and edits and things specific to that book, like the way the images go. When you see, again, when you look at the iBook version compared to the print or the PDF or the Kindle version, a very different layout. So we have to have a different design, look and feel, and spacing and stuff. So we try to build that in a process that lets us not have to, do any crazy re-editing or anything of that nature. So we take the final product, we're able to put that in and develop once really, and kind of deliver to different platforms, and publish through the creative channels that they provide to the individuals. So hopefully that answers your question. Kindle's is like Kindle Create, to be specific.
Yeah, and then the iBook format as well too.
Yeah. iBook Author is the tool to push that through, and you can publish. Most of them have some iBooks can publish different formats as well, but through their particular store, that's what we chose to do. So you can do things that adding the photos and media, color and interactive, pull the photos up, and each of these platforms is got their own particular production sort of mechanics that we have to follow. So, but we start with the base, and that helps make it a streamlined process so that we can do this quickly in a lot of different platforms without having to do a ton of different deviated works.
Yeah, and that's what streamlining this allowed us to kind of violate the rules of publishing too, where it normally takes 18 to 24 months to get a book out on the shelves, to even certainly for academic publishing, but even for professional publishing too, and to turn this around in what in essence was about 6 months total too. So thank you to many of you who had to really hustle to try and get a book in, a chapter in for the book too, with a limited review too. That's why we were requesting final copy, final chapter on this too, with permissions, to make sure that we didn't have to go through those normal 5, 6, 7 production cycles too, editorial and production cycles too, to get the book out there too. And I saw that helped speed up your production as well too,
absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Right. That made things a lot easier for us, and we're able to put something like this together in a few weeks. Kind of as we can, rather than a whole long production and iterative cycles and things like that. So that kind of efficiency is definitely helpful from a production standpoint. So appreciate that.
So as you guys think about your next books out there, think about how that might factor into your production as well too, or come and talk to Mike or us and stuff too. We're happy to help you on some of those things too. But there's a whole intelligent health series that Harry has started and instantiated too, with things like, not sure if I'm allowed to tip my hand on some of the upcoming topics, but let's just say some of the other Internet of Things meets medical and healthcare technologies and tool sets that we want to also engage in beyond voice, or with voice as a complement to. Those will be things that we really want to try and do. And even with what you did too, you and I were debating, Mike, about how much transcription can we have in the book and still have it feel like it's got the credibility of the written word versus the spoken word, where you just say things off the cuff and then you want to back them up with references too. Any thoughts on that?
I think that's part of the adding to this sort of various media types or ways to experience the book, and with podcasts and other ways of interacting with your audience instead of the traditional, the traditional reader. You have a much broader audience by doing these types of things, and you can reach more people, and it's kind of different how they prefer to get this and to hear it. And I think there's having the voice aspect of it too, and hearing somebody and their passion come through an interview and some of those, I think helps when you can get that genuine experience by having a discussion with somebody, or feel like you're kind of more in conversation rather than just a traditional written book. So I think there's definitely positives to it.
Yeah, so that's great. And stick here with me for just a minute. And one of the things that I've been excited about too is that we do have that warmth of the interviews that Terry's done, along with the depth of what we have with some of the written chapters, and have some balance and some mix in that. And when we do that electronic interactive version over the Alexa skill, we'll also be able to kind of take that next leap. So I think that's really important. Mike, thank you so much for all of your hard work. We couldn't have done it without you as well too. So thank you as well.